Welcome to Good Game Radio.
Welcome to GG Radio. I'm your host, Sirius X.
And I'm Hazmatch.
I'm Veins.
Roll it.
The hesitation was fantastic.
Roll it. Keep it going.
We got a banger for you guys here today. We got, on our agenda for today, we've got Silent Hill 2, New World Aeternum, GTA 6, a lawsuit against Nintendo and Palworld, and FragPunk. So sit back, relax, grab your popcorn, and we are heading on down to the game zone.
Game zone.
All right, fellas, what's going on, guys? How you been?
Shoot, nothing much. It's only been almost a month since our last one. That's pretty good.
We really need to start getting better about this.
Let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room. We have a new third permanent member.
Hello.
What's going on?
Oh, living the dream, working day to day, and still playing video games.
Right, there you go. Love it. Love to hear it. So, we got a lot of good feedback on our last episode of Veins, and we decided to get with him and let him know that we'd like for him to be a permanent third. And here he is. So, lots more to come in our next episodes with Veins chiming in, and I think these will be this is gonna be great.
Big
Really
money
like this.
moves, baby.
Absolutely. Yeah. Your pay is nothing.
Oh, great. It's really not about the money, guys.
Oh, who was it? What was the NPC that we had that was sitting in front of the little computer? What was his name? Bob or something like that?
Yeah, the stick
Yeah, we
man.
fired Bob. We hired.
Bob kept sleeping on the fucking job, so here we are.
So, all right, guys. Well, we are back at it again, and I say we just go ahead and get right on into it. Hazmat, what you got for us?
Alright, so I am very pleased to have this topic of conversation because it is positive in a circumstance where I thought it was not going to be. So, for those of my Silent Hill fans out there, my horror fans, the big spooky scary enjoyers, they was hitting. They was cooking. So there was a lot of skepticism on the Silent Hill 2 remake that released not too long ago. Based on the studio that was working on it and some other controversies that I'm not gonna that's a word, controversies that I'm not gonna get into right now on this podcast because we're just talking about how much of a slam dunk it was. Silent Hill 2 remake is fucking fire. One of the biggest things I was worried about is that they were gonna change a whole lot in the game that would affect the actual story, because a big thing on Silent Hill 2 is every little thing that you can see is representative of something else as far as the bigger picture goes. Silent Hill 2 is very psychological. Everything down to the monsters you fight, the people you meet, everything feeds into the overarching narrative. And so when you tweak that, it actually does have tangible effects on the overarching narrative. Like, you can't just go in and fight your average Joe fucking zombies or whatever, because that's just not what Silent Hill is about. But they kept it true to form. It's very, very creepy, very dreadful. The soundtrack is so like Akira Yamaoka, if I said his last name right. If not, I'm sorry. Is a huge inspiration as far as creating goes, because he is just a musician in a league of his own. He actually worked on the original soundtrack, and then he came back for this to work on this soundtrack. And the soundtrack is the same, but somehow he made it better. I didn't know that was possible, because Silent Hill has an exceptional soundtrack, and he managed to do it. Everything just sounds so nice. The songs sound more full, if you will. He just did a great job there. Visually stunning. The graphics are legit. And that's not something that I usually care about. I just want a game to be fun. But this is one of those where I just had to sit back and think to myself, holy shit, like, they were cooking. They were cooking with this game. The story plays out pretty much the exact same. My only gripe with it is there is a scene in the original that they didn't put in the remake, and it's this one where you meet Eddie If you played, you know who I'm talking about. Where you meet Eddie in a bowling alley, and he's sitting there eating pizza, and James, in his early 2000s fucking voice, says, "There are monsters everywhere in this town. How can you just sit there and eat pizza?" They didn't add that, unfortunately. And if I really had to nitpick something else, it would be like I wish they kept Maria's design true to the OG. But I'm gonna give them leeway there because they did make a callback to how she originally looked, so I have no problems with how they went about it. The combat was something that people were worried was gonna overtake. They thought it was gonna turn from a psychological horror into an action horror. That's not the case. The combat is hard because you're just an average Joe Schmo. It's not like Resident Evil where you're a trained super spy from this corporation and all of that good stuff that goes into RE characters. You're just an average dude with a pipe in his hand and minimal knowledge of how a gun works. And the game very much plays around that, so the combat is difficult. The monsters are very nicely designed. It's just a banger. I am super happy to report that although I was very skeptic of how this was gonna go, they did nothing but blow my expectations out of the water. So love Bloober Team for that. That's the studio that made it, and yeah, you guys should go buy it. It's on PlayStation 5 and PC.
Well, fantastic. I honestly don't even think I've ever played a Silent Hill game. I probably might upset some people with that comment, but I'll be honest, I played it.
I haven't either, Steven. You feel alone there.
I mean, I'm sure it's probably a good game. I want to say I've seen gameplay of the remaster, but there again, not my cup of tea. I'll be honest.
Oh yeah,
but
that's fair.
I was gonna say, hey man, everyone's got their thing. So as long as you like it, you know, that's what matters, right?
Yeah, I mean, you work for the money, you're spending the money.
Right. All right. Let's move on, shall we?
Alrighty.
New World Aeternum.
Yes,
oh
sir.
man, let me tell you something. By this point, I think my friends are probably annoyed with me with how much I just fucking say this game over and over and over again. New World Aeternum. It is, for those of you, it may sound familiar to you. This is going to be, you know, it's kind of a weird thing to say, really, but it's going to be the latest update. I'll put it as an update. It's going to be the latest update in the Amazon Games New World game that has been on PC since 2021. So, what is New World Aeternum? Okay, so New World Aeternum is going to be the biggest update to New World, and it is going to be a RPG. Originally, New World was an MMORPG. They have actually tried to go ahead and back away from the MMO part of it and just made it an RPG, which I'm okay with.
Oh, interesting.
Because MMOs can be hit or miss. But I don't want to give too much away, but the storyline is very interesting. You essentially you start out on a pirate ship, and the pirate ship ends up going into this foggy, like what is it? Like a fog, like pretty much a death fog is what it is.
Yeah.
And of course everyone starts dying. Like you start to blow up. And if you've ever seen Dead Man Tell No Tales, the Pirates of the Caribbean movie,
Yeah.
one of the scenes is you know, the Spanish captain and his crew go into that fog or whatever, and then they ended up, like, their whole ship ends up getting destroyed and they all die and whatnot. Essentially that. That's pretty much the start of the whole thing. But
Hell
you
yeah.
end up being going onto this island called Aeternum. And the crazy thing about Aeternum is while you're in Aeternum, you don't die. You essentially, you know, in a game, you respawn. But there's a catch to it. People are starting to turn into these mindless zombies, per se. And there is an evil that's going on right now in Aeternum. And the problem is that people who are dying too much are then exactly doing that, becoming that zombie-like person. And you're pretty much essentially trying to get down to the bottom of where you're at, what's going on. That's as much as I know so far. I only played the beta, and the beta, of course, you don't get too far in the campaign, but you get far enough to where it really hooks you in. There's a lot to this game. I will say that. I mean, you can do pretty much anything. You have character customizations, class customizations, weapon customizations. I mean, you do I mean, there's so much in this game, but it's refreshing. It's not like overwhelming, because we've
Right.
all played those games where it's like it's an RPG game, but there's so much. It's like, okay, how the hell am I going to be able to remember all this? It
Right.
gets
Yeah.
overwhelming. They have done it in a way that it's simplified, and it actually makes the game, fun to play.
That's a good thing
And
too, because nothing will turn me off from an RPG or MMO more than you having to have a fucking degree in mathmatology or whatever just to understand how to build your class correctly.
oh yeah, I mean they give you a lot in the game as it is, but yeah, it's not overwhelming. It's not going to be one of those where it's like, well, okay, in 5 minutes I'm going to forget like half the stuff that this game just taught me.
Right.
Um, So yeah, you like I said, there's character creation and class customization. I think there's like 7 different classes, anywhere from a ranger to a sword bearer to you've got your healers, your sorcerers. I mean, there's a lot in this. The cool thing is it's swords and it's guns too, but it's not like
Nice.
machine gun kind of crap. It's like muskets and flintlock pistols,
Right.
stuff like that. I think the time frame that this is set in is like the mid 1800s. I believe that's what it was when I first watched the opening scene for when you play the game. So it's around that time, but it's so much fun. And I will have to say this. One of the games that I used to play was Elder Scrolls Online, which is very, by the way, if you've played that game, when you play Aeternum, you're going to see a lot of similarities to these games. The one thing I didn't like about Elder Scrolls Online was how they did their mission system. Like, it didn't make sense. It was so confusing. Like, you didn't know what was an actual mission versus a main mission, side mission, whatever. There was just so much things that just didn't make sense when it came to how their mission system worked.
Right.
But in New World Aeternum, it tells you everything. Like, you can pick up as many missions as you want, and all the missions will show up on the right side of your screen, not in an annoying way, but in a very nice, clean way of keeping track. And it'll actually tell you what the missions are. So, like, if you can have side missions, main missions, you can have missions that pertain to getting a new mount in the game, missions that pertain to you learning a new skill in the game, or gaining resources, stuff like that. Like, they actually have it down to a T, and I think that's fantastic.
So
Very
this is
nice.
gonna be like a Elder Scrolls type deal. Like-
To an extent, yes and no. It's gonna be its own game, and I think it's gonna even be better than what Elder Scrolls Online was. And that's saying a lot, because I know there's a lot of people out there. ESO, I loved it at the time, but I play it nowadays, and it's like it's just not as fun as it used to be. But this game's gonna have factions. This game's gonna have PvE areas that you can play in.
Very nice.
I mean, you can do a lot. Like, you can craft, you can cook, you can. And here's the best part. The way that the class system works, honestly, your class does not define what weapons you use in the game. Your weapons can be anything. Like, if you want to be a ranger that uses a staff and a sword, you can do that. Because honestly, the only important thing when it comes to your character selection at the your class selection at the very beginning is honestly just what boosts you start out with in the game. So, like, when I played the beta, I was a ranger. And as a ranger, I started out with level 50 on all woodworking and all woodworking skill. Sorry, I could not think of the name for a second. Yeah, all woodworking skills was already at a level 50 for me. So it's just a boost that you pretty much are going to start out with. That's what your class is going to be based on. But like, you could sit there and be a sword bearer, that's your class, and you use a flintlock pistol the entire time, or a musket, or a blunderbuss. You don't have to specifically use the weapons that would make sense for that kind of a class. Make sense?
That's
Which I
interesting.
think is nice.
Yeah, that's very interesting because you can still have the class you want, but not be limited to having other options. So you're not going to be
Right.
forced to make 10 characters because you want to use 10 different type of builds. So I could see that being cool. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And now, of course, some people are gonna be like, well, then what's the point of having a class set? Well, there are those things, but at the same time, they want you to have that freedom to do whatever you want. You don't have to sit there and specifically focus on a set of weapons. They want you to be able to do whatever you want with your
Mm.
character, per se.
That's definitely an important piece.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, here's the thing. Like I said, the best part about Eternum is what's different between New World and New World Eternum. So, New World Eternum is introducing the New World franchise to console. That's
Hmm.
what this is about. So, here's the best part about the game. You can do this one of two ways. You can either play solo or you can play with your friends. And the best part is the game is crossplay. So you can
Yeah.
play with everybody. Now, a lot of people are going to question there. Okay, well, if cool, there's crossplay, but if you're on PC, you have a better chance of like playing in the PvP arena and stuff like that. Not necessarily. With New World Eternum coming out, they have actually they have changed the interface of the game to be console friendly and have added things into the game to make it a fair game across all platforms. They have added enemy locking, they have added aim assist, and they've added supercast or whatever, something like that, swift cast, something like that. But
Yeah.
it's allowing everybody to play on the same level field, no matter what.
Sounds ambitious for sure.
I mean, look, I'll tell you right now. Like I said, I only played the beta. I did not have any gripes with this beta. I think it was done very well. I think the only issue I came across was I think my game crashed like maybe once or twice on the first day, but that was it, just twice. Other than that, the game was solid. Like I think the only thing I probably could gripe about is like how your character runs in the game. I thought it was a little clunky,
Hmm.
but over time I got used to it. But the map in this game is massive. Absolutely massive. And it's also one of those games where you don't have to again, you can play with your friends, but it's not like you have to sit there and wait for your friends to get on to be able to continue whatever you're doing or play or whatnot. Like you can continue missions and still be able to go back and do those missions again to help your teammates.
Interesting.
I think the game itself is pretty solid. And just on the beta alone, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. And
9
I
out of
don't
10.
give 9.5 out of 10. I do not give high ratings like that, especially on betas, but that was a solid beta. I think the only other solid beta that I played recently was Black Ops 6. And the 0.5 loss was from being kicked from the game, and same with this one. Being kicked from the game on the first day, that's where you lose half a point for me. But it wasn't bad. It was good. I thought it was good. I thought it was great.
Hell yeah. So
Um,
what about the crafting, right? Because I
yeah.
know some people probably assume that it might be a base builder type, as well as like crafting weapons and stuff. So what was your experience with that? Was that worth it?
So
Was that cool?
yeah, so the way it's really cool how it works when it comes to crafting because of course you need materials, which they've made it very well clear that you can technically play the game without ever having to craft a single thing in your life, but it's going to make the experience of the game and like the ability to enhance your arsenal tenfold by crafting. And the way that crafting
Mm.
works is you can craft weapons, you can craft armor, and there's materials galore. There's um there's wood material, there's rock material, there's plant material, um, there's material that you get off of killing animals and stuff. I mean, there's a lot to it, and I mean, you can do a lot. There's leather work, there's woodworking, there's metal work. Yeah, I mean, it's a good amount.
Very
It is a
nice.
good amount. And it was pretty good from what I saw.
Very nice.
From what I saw, from what it did, here was something interesting. I will say this: there was one thing that I thought was very interesting, was their not shop, but like place to sell things.
Market, in a sense.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know why I couldn't. Yeah, so the way that their market works. So you can do this one of two ways when it comes to the market. You can either put it up for sale at a specific price that you pick, and what it does is it sits in the market for 3 actual days, and other players can come in, and if that's an item that they want or that they need and they have the money for it, they buy it and you get the profit.
Oh, so real world economy kind of stuff.
Correct. Or if you don't want to sit there and do that and you just want to get it for a lower price at a specific base price, you can sell it at a specific base price and you'll get the money automatically.
I see. Interesting.
So pricing for the game isn't going to be terrible, I hope.
So no, so the price, so of course the game price is going to be like it is. It's $60 for the brand new game. If you want to pre-order it, you can pre-order it. Now, the best part is about this game is that I feel like the pre-order is worth it because the in-game items that they give you are kind of pretty neat compared to most games. Most games, it's like, okay, here you go. We're going to give you a skin, and the skin's going to look okay, but it's not going to be that great. Or it's like, oh yeah, you're going to get this, and no one's really... But in this game, you do get skins, but I feel like the skins are worth it. So one of them is a wolf mount skin, another one is a bear mount skin, and another one is a full customized armor skin.
That's pretty sick.
And
I can't lie.
and that's the other thing with this game is there's transmogging in this game. So if you like a specific aesthetic of a weapon or armor piece, and you want that to be what your armor looks like, but you still want to keep the stats of your current armor set that's probably a lot better than the other one, as long as you have picked up that item and put it in, like, you don't even have to equip it, as long as it's in your backpack, and then you go and sell it, or, you know, you don't have to keep it in your backpack for the transmog. You can transmog any item that you want to your favorite look, so that way you actually look appealing in the game rather than look like some bumfuck that just decided to put on, like, kill 8 people and put on 1 piece of armor from all 8 people.
Right. I love when games
which
do
is
that.
cool.
It's very nice.
Which is really cool. The transmogging is really cool. You need transmog tokens. And the transmog tokens you can get. Honestly, I actually have no idea how you can get those, because in the beta they gave them to you, so that way you had them. I do know there is a battle pass, and I believe the battle pass will always be free, which I also think is nice. And you can get them that way, but I don't know what other ways you can get the transmog tokens, which is fine. But being the fact that there's a battle pass and it's free, fuck yeah, dude. I'm all for that.
Yeah, that's true. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. So I'll tell you this, you know, I've seen a lot of games done by Amazon, and they've just been kind of okay games.
If that.
If that, yeah, exactly. If that. But this one
seems a lot different.
This one, yeah, definitely seems a lot different. Seems like it's going to be good. I highly recommend it, and I'm probably being biased just because I really like the game. I know not everyone's an RPG kind of person, but I think this game's going to be really good. Now, there are 2 things that I must mention in this for those that do want to get this game. If you are wanting to play with your friends, here are 2 things that you must know, okay? Number 1, there are servers in this game. And if you want to play with your friends, you and your friends must play on the same server. If you do not, and use, like, let's say you get up to level 10 on your character, and then you find out that you're not in the same server as the rest of your friends, and you go switch servers, you have to create a whole new character. Or at
So
least
that's kind of
that's
like
how it
Ark, man.
that's how it was in the beta, and I don't know if that's something that they ended up fixing or not, but I'm just going to assume that they didn't, just to be on the safe side, to let everybody know. The other big thing is there are two different types. So there's sub-servers, and then there are server types. There's server types and there's sub-servers, okay? The sub-servers are the servers that you and your friends play on. The server type, there's two different server types in this game. You have your standard server and you have your legacy server. The legacy server are for those people who have been playing New World on PC and then, of course, get Aeternum and start playing Aeternum. They can continue to play with the character that they have, and then continue to play on that legacy server that they've been playing on. Here's the catch. You cannot move a legacy character to a standard server. They will not allow that because of a lot of different reasons, mainly to make the game fair for newcomers.
That's fair, yeah.
Which I think is fantastic, because when they did that with Elder Scrolls Online, because Elder Scrolls Online was kind of in the same boat. It started out on PC and then moved over to console, but they didn't do that. They just let PC and console play on the same servers together, and it just didn't really work out too well, right?
Yeah,
But in this,
for obvious reasons, yeah.
right? But in this game, that's not the case. So I think that's fantastic. Now, here's the best part: if you play on the standard server, you can move from standard server to legacy server. The catch is, once you do, you cannot go back.
Interesting.
So those are the two big important things to understand when it comes to the servers. Which some people may say that's kind of dumb. I actually think that's pretty smart, because you definitely want to make the experience for new players enjoyable,
Yeah,
and
or else
not
they'll
be
leave.
playing with people who are, hundreds of levels into the game. Oh, dude, and the level system is nutty. Like, for skills and such, I think the max level in skills is like 250 to 400 in levels.
Good.
I mean, it's not like,
Golly.
oh yeah, dude, the game is, I mean, there's so much to this game. I know I've been sitting here saying that over and over again, but I mean, I think, to me, there's a lot of things in gaming nowadays that have felt stale, and this is the one game that I am excited for to really kind of kickstart my excitement in playing video games again. The last time I had that feeling, the game that satisfied that, was Elden Ring. Elden Ring came out, I was like, ugh, this is what I was looking for.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see how Aeternum comes out. Again, it's $60. Or if you want to get the higher pre-order deal, it's $80, and you get more with that. It does come out on the 15th, so just in 3 days as of this recording. And I definitely recommend it if you have friends. Definitely play with them, play on the same servers. And of course, the other thing is, there are factions in the game. Make sure y'all pick the the right faction, because if not, it's gonna be another problem. And that's the other thing. There's strongholds in this game. Like each town has a stronghold, and your faction can capture it. And when you capture the stronghold of a town, your faction gains buffs in the game for a very long period of time.
Interesting. Interesting. So in a way, you can contribute to the greater whole.
Correct. And there are also clans that you can create. Then the clans are also going to be faction-based clans as well. So, like, if you're part of one of the three factions and you create a clan, that clan will be part of that faction. And the cool part is that, like, you can have your clanmates do certain missions and objectives to get you in-game rewards. You can also have everybody like donate money to your clan every day. Like, if you have specific I didn't realize what we were playing. I got so confused.
I switched it up a little bit.
I forgot. I died.
Nope, you're good. You're good. I was so confused. But yeah, like you can have everyone donate money, and then like you can disperse. Like you can, it's pretty much an investment, and over time your currency increases in your faction, and then you can actually have people. Then you can redistribute it to your team,
Hell yeah.
and they get more money for what they got. So I think it's pretty cool. The game is exciting. I'm really I cannot wait for this game to come out. I think it's gonna be great.
In 3 days,
Uh,
baby.
3 days.
We're gonna know for
Steven,
sure.
you killed me.
I got you. So definitely recommend it. New World Aeternum. It's gonna be on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. It does not matter which one you play on. You'll be able to play with all your friends no matter what platform you're on, and it's going to be a very, very fun time.
Right on, yeah. Yeah, that sounds like it's gonna be
So
popping for sure. I'll be on there with you for sure.
absolutely, man. I'm definitely gonna get you that game. I'm probably gonna do it after all this, maybe later tonight or tomorrow. Funny enough, and for those of you who those of you who are my coworkers, because I know a lot of you listen to this podcast, I literally took Tuesday off just so I could play this game. I'm just gonna say it. And in all honesty, I don't care if you guys know. Want to know why? Because I'm allowed to use my PTO however I want, and y'all can too. So yeah.
Oh! Give me a second. I didn't realize I was last alive until I was.
Oh, dude, there you go. Get it. Get his ass. Get his ass. Get him.
Ah!
Yeah.
Look behind me.
Nice.
I am playing like
Nice.
absolute.
I didn't
dog
realize you
water
you and I were the last two alive.
today.
I was coming for you guys. Steven
That's
killed me
nice.
twice.
Okay,
Okay, I'm going with you guys, and
Over here. Over here.
Squad up. Okay, so what's next? Is it time for Veins to
I
have
think-
his debut moment?
All right, Veins, what you got for us?
Oh. So my topic's definitely gonna be the GTA 6 release in next year in the fall. Heard a lot of good things about it. There's been a few leaks, and honestly, I think some of it's crazy. Hazmat, I know you're a PC player.
Oh, your mic's cutting out.
Oh, so you're a
You're
PC player?
Yeah, PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. I got all three.
Okay, so luckily for you, you have the option and you have a console. But for PC players strictly, the game will be released a year to 2 years later for them.
Oh, what the
So
hell?
I
For
know that's pretty
PC?
crazy. Yeah, so
That's nice.
the plan and I just read about that. So leaks are coming in slowly. GTA was a really popular console game for sure. I mean, as you guys know,
Yeah.
GTA 5 was a hit, and I feel like it always will be. But the new GTA 6 coming out, they partnered up with 5M to make a better like role-playing game. Steven, I don't know if you're familiar with 5M. I know I talked a little bit about it with Hazmat, but 5M is basically like a GTA 5 role model game. So, you're actually going to be able to like kind of like arrest people. I'm really hoping. Full leaks have not really leaked out yet much for the game. Obviously, they gave out a trailer, and then they were like, "All right, here's a trailer," but a year before the game comes out.
Right.
Which it sucks because I feel like everybody's ready. How many people have played GTA 5 are super ready for the game to just finally flourish and be able to play.
Just fucking be here, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you guys played GTA 5 much. I know different types of gamers.
For sure. Your
but
mic's cutting out again.
Man, I can't get it right.
You got that iPhone headphone mic.
Yes, then that will change the 25th.
Oh
So,
yeah.
Hopefully by next stream it'll be, I'll have a little bit better of stuff. I didn't plan on doing podcasts normally.
But you were
that
just
just
so
kinda
good,
happened.
man.
I try. I tried. You know, I feel like GTA 6, you know, will be another good topic because everybody's played GTA 5. Like, come on.
At this point,
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
at this point the game is so old and still you go on and servers are full of people. People are still killing each other. It's super hectic. And
They got the
you know,
hackers. I mean, it's lived its life cycle.
oh,
At
it
this
has.
point.
Oh, it 100% has lived its life through. Um, you know, I've already died. That's so with GTA 6 coming out, I'm hoping for some crazy things. Like, is there anything that you hope to be added? Because I know you guys are.
Mike's cutting out again, but
I was gonna say your mic's cutting out, but
Man, I love
I
it
mean, I pretty
today.
much understand what your question is.
yeah,
So,
as
like,
far
is there anything you guys are looking forward?
well, a couple of things actually. I mean, you mentioned the
Ooh, second place.
collaboration with 5M. Oh, first place. I'm finally doing good. You mentioned the collab with 5M and how that's going to be more roleplay based. That's honestly probably all I could ask from it because I think it's pretty much known right now that Rockstar delivers great stories. Um, at least as far as GTA and like Red Dead Redemption go. Red Dead 1 being one of my favorite games ever. Um, they deliver class acts in storytelling. So I think the single player, just the fact that Rockstar is even making one, what in the world? And has invalid easy anti-cheat authorization. What is that?
Thinks you're cheating, bro.
Invalid anti-cheat authorization is on PC. Maybe that's me.
So
I don't know why that would be though. So yeah, so single player I think is going to be a slam dunk already. I'm not even putting a thought to it. I think that's pretty much just going to be a hit. I'm going to throw us in custom games and see if it still does that. But with the multiplayer was my biggest thing because it's like the multiplayer is good. Don't get me wrong. GTA Online, and obviously they've been supporting it forever, and hundreds of players still play daily. The problem is that there came a point where you would join a game, you would join a server, and you would just get absolutely bombarded by some jerk off in a plane who logged on that day, had a bad day at work, I don't know, but he wanted to take his anger out on people who didn't do nothing to him. So he gets in this jet or this heavily armored fucking tank or what have you and just smokes everybody in the server time after time after time after time after time. And it's like, okay, fuck this game. This isn't even fun.
Oh,
So
it's still like that. Oh, it's still like that. I feel like that's gonna be on any sort of thing, especially. Oh, we just lagged out.
what the hell happened?
You were unable to connect to the fire team. Please try again.
What? We are the fire team.
Okay, that's crazy. But with everything happening with leaks slowly starting to happen. Like I just found out about the whole PC thing, and upsettingly enough, like a lot of my friends only have PC, and I
Yeah.
want them to be able to enjoy the game. I've always loved the story mode behind GTA 6. I feel like when they released GTA 5, like story mode was like a big thing. Like a lot of people wanted to like play it, wanted to figure out, and then like online, you know, I feel like it's for heists and stuff. Get on with your buddies. All I know them much for is like after school, get on with my buddies when the game first released,
Right.
and I'm hoping for a little bit of difference here, because role play, there's just it opens up so much more you can do to have fun with your friends. I feel like as we grow older, the way we play changes. Obviously,
Yeah.
like I talked about in the last pod, and like now I just want to get on, group up with my buddies, bro, be police officers, arrest people, Like that, you know what I mean? Like be a menace in a different way because there's gonna be rules to play online now. You know,
Of course,
like you
yeah.
can't, and like now there's gonna be real police officers and like you can do it a little bit now. Like you can start to deliver pizzas. You can be a cop, dispatch to calls, but they're not against other players. Like you could never arrest a real player, throw him in handcuffs, throw him in the back of the car.
Right.
I feel like that's so cool. Oh, I'm gonna die. Yep, here's where I die. Sorry guys, I when I play shooter games, I definitely play for to win.
Don't feel bad.
Um
I've been focused on the talking portion. I have been doing ain't shit the whole time we've been playing. People in the comments are about to flag me for my absolutely shit performance playing this game.
Okay, and Steven is particular words right now. Kill me. Thanks, buddy. Um, but you know, I'm really hoping for there's not that I can because you know, the game just got leaked not that long ago, and
But
you know,
the
I'm just
excitement
hoping
is
for
there.
some thanks,
Yeah.
Hazmat. Thanks, Hazmat.
But the
But
excitement is
I feel
there.
like yes, no, that excitement is there. I'm super excited to you know play it with you guys. There, I mean, forever now has been. I don't think I played GTA with you, Steven, did
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I played GTA so much with played with and who I haven't played with.
Yeah, let's not forget that game is I think it's over 10 years old at this point.
Yeah, pretty
I? Oh,
much.
100%.
Ah!
Successfully delivered.
Got me. Oh, okay, you're gonna teabag now. I got you, friend.
Damn
Yep,
it!
got you.
Um Hell yeah.
Available.
Well, this is probably a good time to, while we're sitting here killing each other, beating the shit out of each other, this is probably a good time to get into our next one, which is the Nintendo versus Palworld lawsuit.
Oh
Boy.
boy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm ready for this one.
So I'm gonna just go ahead and be a free kill for a second, because I want to make sure that everybody watching understands what this is based on, okay? So, Nintendo waited all this time. They have had their lawyers scratching their ass, using it as a scratch and sniff for months now since this game came out. They let it garner its success, make its money for the most part, and then they decided to actually sue this company. Now, a lot of people thought it was going to be based on their character designs because a lot of them, let's just call a table
Call it like
here.
it is.
Yeah, a lot
Call
of
it
the
like it is.
designs are very reminiscent of some of the Pokemon. Now, that's hilarious coming from Nintendo because a lot of their Pokemon look like Dragon Quest monsters, which has been doing it forever, but I digress. We'll leave that to somebody else to talk about. But it's actually not about that. It is about a patent. Nintendo, at some point in their fucking reign of terror, has decided that they were going to patent throwing a ball at a monster and catching it in a field. That is what they are suing Palworld over. They patented that mechanic and waited all this time and decided, oh yeah, this intern pulled this out of the trash can, this piece of paper that says we own this patent. Hell yeah, let's sue him on it because we don't like Palworld because fuck competition. Because I don't know about you guys, but Palworld is a fantastic game. It actually took
I enjoyed playing it.
Yeah, it takes the monster catching formula, which Pokemon has had a monopoly on for forever now, and it has actually added a lot of cool features, and you can build bases, and it took the formula and did something exceptional with it. It was buggy on release, and it's still kind of buggy now. So technically, like on a technical sense, there are some issues, and I'm not gonna say there's not. I would be lying. to you guys and myself if I said there wasn't. But Palworld, all in all, is a really fun, phenomenal experience, and it's something I still play to this day. Uh, Nintendo's like,
I mean,
no, we want to do it, and you can't do it because we're Nintendo. Nintendo, the company who everybody who doesn't live under a rock knows is one of the poster children for corrupt douchebag fucking loser companies that will send a cease and desist out because you wrote Nintendo on a toothpick and they fucking caught you
Not
using
a
it.
toothpick. Sorry.
It's,
It's just too funny. Go ahead. Continue.
it's just, I mean, it's just the way they are. Like, again, we're calling a table. That's a fucking table right there. And if your table has Nintendo on it, well, they're gonna sue you for it and take everything you own, or at least try to. And that's this is
sense.
another one of those situations where Power World came out, and it's what's crazy to me is that they let it get as far as it did. They spent all this time letting Power World get money, and part of me thinks it's because they wanted some money to take. They wanted Power World to get some success, let Pocket Pair get their money, so that way they could take their money for stepping all over their shoes or whatever those fucking losers in the suits are thinking.
No doubt.
It's
No doubt.
it's just crazy. And truth be told, like, as far as the facts go, that's pretty much it right now. If there's been any updates, I haven't seen any yet, but it's it's just wild, bro. And I really hope and also think that Palworld can and will find a way to sort of circumvent this. I very much think they're going to take it to court, or maybe they'll settle it behind closed doors, who knows. But I'll tell you this, if Palworld ceases to exist because Nintendo just couldn't mind their fucking business, then I mean, I'm just one guy. It's not like I can do anything to the company, but I'm going to be very upset about that because it sets a precedent for these bigger companies to be able to just stomp on indie creators. And what's crazy is that Palworld is in a way it's born from a lack of creativity in Pokemon. I have been a Pokemon fan since damn near since I was shitting in diapers. I mean, I used to have books that would tell me what route to find this Pokemon, how to evolve them. I watched the show. I collected the trading cards. I mean, I was a huge Pokemon kid growing up, and over the years, the games have just barely improved on the formula. You're getting the same thing, even when they upgraded to 3D. I mean, the game just kind of looks like shit. They're not doing anything super substantial or creative with it. And a lot of people will say, well, what about Pokemon Legends Arceus? I mean, Arceus was cool, but for one of the highest grossing IPs ever to exist ever, because that's the spot Pokemon it's at, I think it's even at number 1, if I'm not mistaken. With all that money they're making, and they keep delivering us a medium rare chicken, it's just fucking crazy.
Medium rare chicken. I love that analogy. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's just crazy, and it's just unfortunate, really. It's stupid because all it's gonna do is force Pocket Pair to sink a lot of money into court now, as opposed to putting their money into resources to improve the game. So from a player experience, like, some stuff that they had planned is going to get held back now because they have to fucking afford lawyers and all this other shit to go to war with Nintendo. And again, it just sets a bad precedent. Like,
to cut you off, Steven, you are a try-hard.
I am not.
No, you're good. I mean, I've flapped about it enough. What are your guys' thoughts on it?
I think it's dumb.
Craziness. And this might be something that, like, if there's and when the video gets released, I feel like answering the guys back will be pretty important, because I feel like this is pretty crazy. A lawsuit. They really don't want any competition.
Exactly.
And that's pretty corny, man. And I feel like that could, if they just released another game, kind of like it'd be in the win, but instead they're like, I'm gonna sue you type deal is pretty nuts to me.
Instead of putting effort into a Pokemon game for a change with all the millions up to upwards of billions of dollars that IP makes. They want to just strong arm the competitors so they can monopolize on it, and it's the same thing with sports games, right? Like EA owns multiple sports, like owns the rights to multiple sports games, like Madden. I want to say they make FIFA, like those types of games. And you hear from sports gamers all the time that this shit's the same as last year and the year before because they don't have any competition. Competition would actually force them to try to improve their game and make it more fun and add new features and stuff. But because they've monopolized it, they don't have to. They can just coast. EA can live off of Madden 2020 and just recreate that year after year after year, and the company will never go out of business because they've got the card packs and all this other fucking BS in the game. And it just seems like that's what Nintendo is trying to do. Now, they'll never touch Dragon Quest Monsters because Nintendo behind the scenes is a scary little coward. They'll never touch Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest would smoke them, but they will try their hand at indie studios. It's just picking on the little guy in a sense, and it's
Better
bullshit.
be careful before they sue you next.
Oh, they're gonna get pocket lint. I ain't got shit to give them. They're gonna give pocket lint or get pocket lint from me in a middle finger.
It's coming.
Maybe an IOU on a piece of scratch paper.
An IOU of $1 million.
I don't know what's going on with the game with this whole easy anti-cheat crap, so we'll just hang out for the rest of the podcast because we're almost to our last topic anyway. But Sirius, do you have anything you want to add?
Dude, I think it's dumb. I think when they tried to do it the first time, I thought it was dumb, and I think this time it's even worse because it's like you're pretty much sitting here saying that, oh, look at this, the way you're catching these pals are considered a copyright infringement. What? Oh my God, you're so like you guys are stretching. You are literally trying to find something to get them with. And I do agree with you on the fact of they waited till the devs of Palworld could get some money in before being like, okay, now it's time. So now we can sue you for everything you've got.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to get far at all. Now, of course, there was a fact that I saw that anytime Nintendo has sued somebody, they have always won. They have never lost a lawsuit. So that's a little nerve-wracking in my personal opinion. But I really don't think they have much grounds to stand on. And you want to know the funny thing is? When Nintendo announced the lawsuit, the second one, right? When they announced this lawsuit, the devs of Palworld came out in a post and stated, we have no idea what this is even about. Like, Nintendo had this whole thing ready to go, knew what this lawsuit was going to be about and all that kind of stuff, and sitting there saying that, I don't know why I can't think of the company now, but the devs for Palworld sat there. Pocket Bear, thank you. Like, they sat there, and Pocket Bear comes out and goes, yeah, we have no idea what this is about. This is the first we're hearing about it, and apparently this is something they've had in the works for months now. Like, that's so improper planning too. It's so bad. And like you said, Nintendo's a big company. Dude, you're making money. Let Pocket Pair do the same.
Exactly.
What? It's not going to hurt anything. It's really not. And I mean, I do. I get why some people feel that their idea has been copied. Now, that's one thing, and you don't want to lose that. But at the same time, it's Nintendo. Holy crap. Every time when Nintendo can't figure out what the heck that they want to do next, they say, okay, come on, give me the Italian. Here comes Mario again. Like,
exactly.
Like, come on. It's not like it's your first rodeo. But no, Palworld is a great game. I think Pocket Pair has Pocket Pair has something going for them. And the funny part is, it's all AI generated.
Yeah, there was some 95%.
95% of what they have in that game was created by AI. So it's not like they purposely took these, took what Nintendo had and threw it as their own idea. They literally just said, all right, AI, take it away. We're going to do whatever you crap out on us. And this is what we got. A solid game.
Yeah.
So what? Your Pikachu does a thunderbolt. Well, my freaking, rat that's Pikachu or whatever shoots your guy with a fucking Uzi. Like, I don't see what the problem is. I mean, no, I'm right there with you. If Nintendo wins, I'm gonna have problems, And again, I'm just one person as well as you are, so not like they lose one. But I truly, honestly think that if Nintendo wins, they are gonna get hit hard because I feel like Pocket crap.
Pocket Pair.
Pocket Pair, thank you. I feel like Pocket Pair has now a pretty decent sized following now.
Yeah.
And I mean, every action you have can have repercussions to it. That's all I'm gonna say. I feel like Nintendo's making a big mistake. Let Pocket Pair do what they want. As long as they're not truly taking what you have done and claiming it as their own, which in this case I don't think they are. Like, yeah, I see the similarities. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of games have similarities.
That's how art works. That's how art
Medal
works.
of Honor. Medal of Honor. Call of Duty. Guess what? They're pretty similar.
Yeah, especially when
Halo,
Medal of Honor still
Destiny.
made.
They're kind of similar.
Yeah.
But it's their own take on things. And you can create a similar game to Pokemon and call it your own. As long as you're not copying exactly like everything that they're doing, why bother? Yeah.
Fucking crazy, man.
So that's my take on that.
I think the loss is just stupid, but each their own.
Veins with the wisdom, and you know what? That's the entirety of the argument. The TLDR, it's stupid. Moving on. Our final topic. Our final topic of the day. FragPunk. So I owe the FragPunk devs a serious apology. I do. I am a human. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do all that bullshit. But when the Xbox Showcase came out, our first episode, episode number 1, baby, we did the Xbox Showcase, and one of the games that I made sure to take the time to shit on was FragPunk, because all I could think of, especially after they did the Concord announcement, I was like, why in the hell are these people doing another hero shooter? Enough with the hero shooters. These companies now just want to, because games take so much so much money to develop now, and they go on these years long dev cycles. They just want to do things that are safe. We don't get anything experimental, especially in the AAA gaming space. Indie studios are crushing it, but AAA, we just don't get that. So this seemed like another cookie cutter fucking horse cockamamie Overwatch clone with maybe some better movement and a cool aesthetic. Now, I did always like the aesthetic. I enjoy the art style for sure. Call me cringe if you want to, but I'm a sucker for that kind of shit. But my other big thing was, this is a game based around cards. And if we know anything about a card-based game in 2024, it is that card-based games are littered with microtransactions. You cannot be a moving force unless you give me money. Give me money, you play. No money, you lose. You lose. Give me money, give me credit card, swipe. And I thought this was going to be a game that was going to take the hero shooter formula and just throw a shit ton of card packs at you, and you'd have to pick it. So anyway, the closed beta has come out, and I got a beta code. I was wrong. I'm 110% the fucking clown for that opinion. Now there are some issues with the game as far as balancing goes, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. But I want to actually get into like the positives first. First off, the beta infrastructure. I have not. The game has not crashed not one time. I have been. There's been no lag. The games have run smoothly. Character designs, I actually really like what they're doing. The abilities. Now I've only played 3. I think it's Nitro, Axon, who's my main, and Hollow Point. She's like a sniper type of character. Those are the 3 that I've mainly played. Oh, in the Mushroom Girl who throws acid trips at you. I can't remember what the hell her name is. I think it's Pathogen. Those are the ones that I've played, and I've enjoyed all 4 of them. I, in good conscience, can never touch Hollow Point again because I suck at sniping. But, but it's been very fun actually, like utilizing these characters and seeing these abilities that each one has. Axon is basically just a fucking grenade launcher with his E. You can just sit there and chuck grenades down a hallway and create explosions. He's got his ultimate, if you will. It's not really an ult, but one of his abilities is he has an electric guitar. He does a little jam, and then he shoots like shotgun rounds out the end of it. It's pretty nasty. As far as like how the games play, it's very similar to like Counter-Strike in Valorant's format, where there's an attacking team and a defending team. You have 2 sites as far as like an A site, a B site, at least as on the maps I've played. And the attackers have to take their, I don't remember what they call it, so I'll just use a Valorant term, the spike. You take the spike to A site or B site, and you plant it, and if it detonates, you win the round, or if you kill everybody on the team, on the opposing team, then you win the round. The biggest thing, the biggest positive, right? Because right now it sounds kind of cookie cutter. That's where the cards come in. So I'll approach this from a rank perspective, because the unranked is you just pick cards every round, and that's kind of it. But in the ranked mode, you still pick cards every round, but it works very similar to how Rainbow Six Siege works with the way you can ban certain operators. So you pick a card captain for your team, and essentially their role is to take in the opinions of their team and then pick and choose cards according to what the team wants. Now, if you get a bad card captain, they're going to do whatever the fuck, but that's just going to happen in these sorts of situations. The way it works is, when it comes time to pick your cards, you go through a ban phase. So it'll give you a spread of cards that you can pick from, and each team takes turns banning a card from that spread. Then it'll alternate between one team picks 2 cards, the next team will pick 2 cards, then the next team picks 1 card, and the next team picks 1 card. Sometimes I think a few times I've seen where the 2 cards and the 1 card will swap, and you'll pick 1 card first, but I digress. There is also a shard system, so you don't want to just blow your shards on like 3 cards every round, because you'll lose shards that way, and you won't be able to like afford cards at all for a particular round, what have you. It's a currency system essentially, that you have to pick and choose what you spend and when in order to maximize your team's, I guess you could say, advantages to be able to win the next round, and the points carry over. And some of these cards are absolutely insane. You have some smaller ones, like every time a teammate dies, everyone on your team gets a damage buff by like a small percentage. And then you've got wacky ones, like there's a card that makes the heads on the enemy team bigger. So they've got these fucking bobbleheads, and they're running around, and you can shoot that for extra headshot damage. They've got one that will grow grass on the map, so you can like crouch and hide behind stuff easier. Hide in the grass. They've got a thunderstorm one, where if your team is the one that uses it, it'll create this crazy like rainstorm of sorts, and like puddles of water will spawn across the map, and if the enemy team walks through those puddles, it slows down their movement speed. It's just crazy, and that's just some examples. There is a lot of cards in this game, and it was honestly a blast. Like, at first I was kind of being cynical. I was like, all right, here we go. I'm gonna play fucking FragPunk. And one of our buddies in our Discord was watching me play it for most of the time too. But over time I was like, okay, hold on, like I'm starting to get this. This is tight. Like this is actually really fun. And it is, man. Like FragPunk, I think is gonna become my new like main game as far as free to play like competitive shooters go when it actually releases. It's just it's a blast, and the wacky combinations you can make with the cards, and it's a good time. It's refreshing. It's a hero shooter. We're getting another damn hero shooter, but it's a fun, refreshing hero shooter that's not just an Overwatch clone or like really a clone of anything. It definitely has the potential to carve its own path, and that's one of its best like strong suits going for it. The only things that are kind of iffy right now is there's some balancing issues with certain gun classes. So one of the ways that the guns work is if you can get a gun in a certain class, like say you the round starts, you pick an assault rifle. If you die, you cannot pick that gun again unless you pick it up from someone else or you ask a teammate to give you one of theirs. That's interesting. I don't know how that's going to work in the longevity of the game, but that's interesting because it forces you to use other guns. You can't just pick the same gun over and over and over and over and over again if you die with it. Or you have a teammate, like a team that doesn't want to give you theirs. So that's interesting, especially if you have somebody who is really good with a particular weapon, but then you get them, like you kill them in one round, they can't use it again until you switch sides and they become attack or defend or what have you. The problem lies in that one, recoil on some of these weapons is insane. They need to tone that shit way the fuck down. I understand on like what they're going for. Like this is not a game where if you pick an SMG, you can across map kill somebody. I like that. They're doing good with that. SMGs also send your fucking vision to the moon in half a second, and it's just crazy. Like it's almost damn near impossible to control. And what they're going for is they want SMGs to actually be an up close and personal like weapon. You have a better chance if you get somebody, close range and you hip fire and just, keep your reticle on them than you do, oh, that guy's fucking 100 yards that way. Let me just play this like, your typical arcade shooter and use my SMG and shoot at him anyway. Let's just beam him. You can't do that. But it's still just a little bit abusive to the player. The other thing is sniper rifles. So sniper rifles, of course, if you get a headshot, it's going to be a one-shot kill, right? We're all aware that that's how snipers usually work. So that's fine. The problem is that when I'm spectating or even when I'm playing and I get sniped by somebody as well as a teammate at the same time and I look at the kill feed and the sniper bullet went through their head and through my chest and I still died. How are you getting a collat kill when it wasn't like 2 headshots? You know what I'm saying? Like we're all familiar with shooters.
The shot wasn't meant for me. Just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, give me a shit ton of damage taken for sure. Like absolutely, I took a sniper bullet to the chest, but to get an entire collateral kill from going through a head and into my chest is just insane. Or even the reverse, goes through my head, their chest, what have you. Doesn't matter. The point is that they need to tone those, just tone them down a bit. Tone the sniping down a bit because there's already players who religiously pick, we're just going to call it the op because that's what it is. It's not named that, but they pick the op and that's all they use all fucking game. They don't even use like the sniping Lancer, that's what they call like the heroes in this game. They don't even use the sniping Lancer. They'll just pick somebody who really shouldn't even use a sniper. They need to be doing other stuff with their abilities and how they play, but they'll just pick a sniper and hold hallways and whatnot, and they'll just snipe all fucking game. That's already happening, and it's like day 5, I think, give or take a few, of this beta being out.
We're gonna be eating dinner soon.
You said what?
Oh, sorry. I was talking to my nephew. I didn't realize my mic was unmuted that time.
No, you're good.
Okay.
You're good. Other than that, though, like all around, it's a very fresh take on the hero shooter genre. The movement's nice. All 4 Lancers that I've played are fun. They've got very different play styles from each other. It's an engaging game. It's a fast-paced game. So if you're a fast-paced shooter kind of person, this is probably going to be right up your alley. And of course, I always have to give mention to the soundtrack. Soundtrack is a banger. They've got dubstep, they got some heavy metal shit in there, or like more punk type of rock, what have you, however you want to classify it. They've got shredding in this fucking soundtrack. It's fire. I love the art style. The character designs are kick-ass. And yeah, I have to formally, for the whole internet to see, I have to eat my words. I like FragPunk. I think it's a good game.
I can only say when it comes to that game is that I heard you, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about it, you know. But I mean, I will take your word for it. If it sounds like a good game, I may have to just check it out.
Yeah, they need to get that balancing fixed, but other than that, like it's a great time.
But this was just the beta, correct? The game hasn't been like officially released.
Correct, yes. If you get access to the beta, it was very easy. They have a link to it, but I got a beta code maybe the next day. I want to say the next day.
How long does it last? That's my only question.
So I think this one goes, you know what? I'll just look it up while we're chatting. But it's a decent time. It's actually pretty lengthy beta. Let me do beta dates. I was able to find this information so easily, like any other day, but now that the camera's rolling, I look like a jackass.
We've all had those days.
Steven wakes up every morning like that.
Hey,
We
you
love
alone.
It's not giving me the end date, but I know it's a good week, maybe 2 weeks from October 10th. It's October 13th, or no, 12th now.
Oh, okay, so it just started.
Yeah, it just started.
Makes sense.
So
definitely
yeah,
have to check it out then.
yeah, and if the cool thing is if you get access to it, there's like this slot machine thing that you can go. It's not like intrinsical to the game itself. It's like a side thing, but if you roll, you can either get like some currency, or the way I got it, this is how I got my wife a code, is you can actually roll for a closed beta code that you can give to a friend, so they can go to their Steam and add it through that, and then now they have access to it without having to fill out the request form or whatever it is.
That's fair. All right, sounds good. Well, there you go, guys. If you are interested in playing it, pretty easy to get it.
Yeah.
And there you go. All right, guys. I think that was all that we had on our agenda for today. Anybody have anything else that they wanted to add? Any important information that we need to know before we sign off?
I'm good, man. I think
All
that's pretty much all we had planned.
All right, guys. Well, if you enjoyed it, please leave a like, leave a comment down below. If you want to listen to us, chew your ear off more and more, we definitely would love to have you guys watch these. Definitely hit that subscribe button. And of course, as always, we will see you next time we enter the Game Zone.
Game Zone. Goodbye!
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment. Hit that subscribe button to make sure you never miss out on an episode. I'm Sirius X.
And I'm Hazmatch. And this is Good Game Radio.